What's good, YouTube? It's your boy T-Flame, T-Flame, T get it outside, I can't get no more. And today, we're going to be ranking every Beyblade X Beyblade from the lightest to the heaviest. Some of these rankings might surprise you, but basically, I just got where I decided it was time to get a gram scale. So I got a gram scale, and I weighed all my Beyblades for all Beyblade X Beyblades that I have. However, because I know there can be variations, I have 2 of each Beyblade X layer other than Cobalt Dragoon, and so I weighed everything multiple times, took the average, but then I also Googled the average weight that's listed on the Beyblade wiki, and so that is also what's going to be going into these rankings. In the description down below, I'm going to have a spreadsheet with all of these weights listed, and then going forward, as we get more and more Beyblade X releases, I intend on updating that list with the weights of my release compared to my own calculations compared to, the standard calculations, right? Because I know there's different variations and stuff, right? So anyway, also, I'm making this because I've been looking for a guide to weights, and I see there are guides to combos, but not exactly guides about weights and things like that, which is a very important thing in Beyblade X, because really, the heavier you are, the better off you are, pretty much. And so, obviously, I got one of the heavier bays and one of the lighter bays here, but honestly, there is some of these categories are going to surprise you. I have 3 categories. I have low tier, or like light. We have light, mid-weight, and heavy. On the spreadsheet, the way I have this laid out is the heavy is going to be bordered in green, the mid is going to be bordered in yellow, and then the low is going to be bordered in red. I'm probably gonna have a screenshot on this video just so y'all can know what I'm talking about. But anyway, well, I guess spoilers if you wanted to just go look at that spreadsheet instead of freaking watching this video. But hey, I'm also gonna try and put timestamps in the description in regards to all the bays. I'm not sure. I'm probably not gonna do the exact for each bay, but what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to at least segment the lower tier, the low weights, the mid weights, and the upper weights. And so all of this is going to be in order, though. The order I'm about to go in is the legitimate order of how these things were sorted. Like I said, so I first sorted this list. I sorted this list twice. I sorted it by my own calculations, and then within my own calculations, I sub-sorted it by the official or the averages reported on the Beyblade wiki, so that way, because in my own calculations I've everything to a whole number, but some of the community calculations on the Beyblade wiki have decimals, so those are what I used to sort, because there's a lot of Beyblades that are like, for example, 34 grams, and so I sorted it based off of the weight that has a decimal place that have been reported on the Beyblade wiki. So it'll make sense when you look at the list, right? But anyway, y'all aren't here for that. Y'all are here to see the lightest bay. And coming in at the lightest Beyblade X bay, we have none other than Dronzer S. This should not be surprising. Dronzer S comes in at about 27 grams. Mine is, on my calculation, is 27 grams. The average weight is 27.7 grams, and that makes it the lightest Beyblade X release. Not all of these are in stock because, I mean, we're only talking about the layers. Like, I'm not talking about the whole combo. We're talking specifically the layers. And so, I mean, it's not surprising. This layer has always been light. I mean, it's really, like, thin compared to, like, normal Beyblade X layers. Like, look at how thin that is. Well, I guess you could say, oh, the swing scowl is supposed to be thick. So as you can see, yeah, it's very thin. There's a lot of plastic, and so yeah, not surprising. Going on, the second lightest Beyblade X release, surprisingly enough, is actually what you might be expecting is it to be Drigger, but it's not. The second lightest Beyblade X release is freaking Shinobi Shadow, which I already don't like Shinobi Shadow. This was a UX release, but it's such a bad Bay because it's in a random booster select, so it's kind of hard to get. None of the parts are good. Metal Needle is banned because it scratches stadiums. 180 is off balance and tall. It's bad. And obviously the layer, which we're talking about, is 28. 28 grams off of my calculations. The average rate is about 28.2 grams. So yeah, no. Moving along, the third lightest is going to go to Drigger S. I mean, obviously this is still light, but it's not the lightest. There's actually Shinobi Shadow is between this and Dronzer. So yeah, this guy has Dronzer's same issue, but somehow it is heavier. Next, oh wait, Drigger. This is Drigger. I didn't mean to call this Dronzer. I'm not good with plastics. But next, the next Beyblade up on this list is Leon Claw. Sorry, Nizuma. Leon Claw clocks in at about 31 grams. The average weight is 31.4 grams. I mean, this guy, honestly, it doesn't look like it would be like a lower tier, but the fact that this thing is 3 grams heavier than Drigger, right? So there is a significant difference between Drigger and Leon Claw. There's a whole 3 gram difference, but it's still gonna be a low tier weight. The one thing that kind of surprised me is the bay that's above it, which is Wyvern Gale. I would have expected Leon Claw to be a little bit heavier than Wyvern Gale. My Wyvern Gale calculations was that this is 31 grams. The average calculation is 31.9 grams, which the average calculation for Leon Claw from the Bay Wiki is 31.4 grams. So yeah, no, on average this thing is heavier than Leon Claw, which is crazy because look at how hollow this thing is. It's still a bad Beyblade, which I don't understand why some of the rare Beyblades are bad, but anyway, now we have the last little bit of low tier, which after this we're going to start moving on to mid tier. So to cap off low tier, we have Wizard Arrow. I had put Phantom Orion sticker on it just because I think I don't know. But yeah, this thing weighs about 32 grams. I have a bunch of Wizard Arrows, obviously, because I got like every Beyblade X release. And so they averaged out for me to 32 grams, but the average weight on the Bay Wiki is 31.8 grams. So if you get a 32 gram one, you're pretty much solid there. But yeah, no, still low tier. Just because of that average is 32.7. So again, from the low tier weights, we got Dronzer Dronzer is the lightest, followed by Shinobi Shadow at 28 grams. Dronzer was 27 grams. Shinobi Shadow was 28 grams. Drigger got 28 grams again. Leon Claw 31 grams. Wyvern Gale at 31 grams average, and Wizard Arrow at 32 grams average. Now going into the mid-tier bays, we got Sphinx Cowl starting this off. Now, my Sphinx Cowl weighs 32 grams, which is the same as Wizard Arrow. However, the average is 32.7. So that means I got very unlucky because all 3 of my Sphinx Cowls weigh 32 grams. So I did not get one of the heavier ones. But because I still have Wizard Arrow below this, because the Bay Wiki says this is like 32, whereas the Bay Wiki on Wizard Arrow says it's like 31 grams. Next up, we got Black Shell. Black Shell, I have it at 33 grams. The average is 32.1 grams on the on the Bay Wiki, which is lighter than Sphinx Cowl, but my Black Shell weighs more than my Sphinx Cowl. All right. Next up, we got Night Shield. Night Shield comes in at 33 grams, but on average, it's on the Bay Wiki, it says 32.4 grams, which is lighter than Sphinx Cowl by just a little bit, but I don't know. My Night Shields are heavier than Sphinx Cowl, which is why my Night Shield is above it. Next, at 19, which is tied with Sphinx Cowl, surprisingly enough, is Rhino Horn. Now, it's now Rhino Horn is the smallest Beyblade. A lot of people dog on this thing, but it is on average the WBBO has the not WBBO. The Bay Wiki has this thing weighted on average at 32.9 grams. Mine weighs 33 grams. But this on average weighs more and is tied with Swing Scout. It weighs more than everything below it, but is tied with Swing Scout, which I just think is interesting. Because a lot of people dog on this thing because of weight, but the fact that there's quite a bit of bays below it means that this thing might actually have more potential than people say it has because of weight. But well, maybe not. The shape is still clapping. Next up, we have Knight Lance, which is going to be coming in at mine weighs 33 grams, but on average Knight Lance weighs 32.9 grams on the Bay Wiki. So that's that. Next up, we have Hell's Hammer, which Hell's Hammer weighs 33 grams on mine weighs 33 grams. On average, it weighs 33 grams. Next, actually, I got Hell's Scythe. Wait, where'd I put my Hell's Scythe? I got Hell's Scythe and Hell's Hammer tied pretty much at 33 grams. Both of these weigh 33 grams, and the Bay Wiki says they weigh 33 grams. But honestly, I think Hell's Scythe feels heavier than Hell's Hammer, and Hell's Scythe is just better than Hell's Hammer. But both of those come in at 33 grams on the dot. Next, we have Phoenix Feather, which I have at 33 grams, but on average, it is listed as 33.3 grams, giving it just a little bit of an edge. Next, I have Hell's Chain, which my Hell's Chain, I have, two of these, and they both come out for me to 34 grams, but on average, they're listed as 33.2 grams, but both of mine weigh about 33 grams, so it looks like I got lucky on that one. Then we have, sorry, I just paused for a second. Next, we got Unicorn Sting. Unicorn Sting comes in at 34 grams. My both weigh 34 grams, but on average, it weighs 33.4 grams on the Bay Wiki. After that, we got Weiss Tiger, which mine weighs 34 grams, but on average, this thing weighs mine weighs, sorry, I messed that up. Mine weighs 34 grams. On average, it weighs 34.6 grams, meaning that on average, it's heavier than the one that I have. Next up, we have, this is a little surprising to me because this bay is actually like very top tier in the meta, but it is not the heaviest. It has quite a few bays that are heavier than it, and that is Shark Edge. My Shark Edges, they pretty much all go to 34 grams. But on average, on the Bay Wiki, they are listed as 34.6 grams, which makes it tied with Weiss Tiger. And it's also tied with the Beyblade that is above it, which is Drawn Sword, which I have, mine weighs 34 grams, but on average it weighs 34.6 grams. Actually, Weiss Tiger, Shark Edge, and Drawn Sword, on average, according to the Bay Wiki, all come in at 34.6 grams. So this is like sort of a three-way tie. But honestly, it's surprising that Weiss Tiger weighs the same as these two. You would expect Weiss Tiger to probably weigh the least, but they all are tied. Next, we have Viper Tail, which mine's on average come on at 34 grams, but according to the Bay Wiki, this comes in at 34.7 grams, which actually ties it with Drawn Dagger. Both of my Drawn Daggers actually come out to 35 grams, which is why I have Drawn Dagger above. But according to the averages on the Bay Wiki, Viper Tail is 34.7 and Drawn Dagger are both 34.7. So that knocks out all of the midweight combos and pretty midweight layers, and you can pretty much anticipate what's coming up for the highest weight combos. The one thing I will say is low-key the order of these highest weight combos surprised me a little bit. But anyway, the seventh heaviest Beyblade is Wizard Rod. I thought that this thing would weigh a little bit more than the things that are above it, but no. This, both of my Wizard Rods come in at 35 grams. On average, they weigh about 35.3 grams. That's according to the Bay Wiki. And the thing that is above it, surprisingly, is Drawn Buster. My Drawn Buster comes in at 36 grams, and on average, the Drawn Busters come in at about 36.5 grams. So, Drawn Buster on average is heavier than Wizard Rod. But I guess the main reason why this thing isn't as good as Wizard Rod is because obviously this thing has 0 stamina. The weight is not concentrated at all. I mean, the weight is concentrated right here, but it's like not even clearly. So the weight doesn't really help it there. Next, we have Tyranno Beat, which mine weighs 37 grams. On average, they weigh 37 grams on the dot. So I pretty much got the average. Maybe you could get one a little heavier, but 37 grams. This guy, I love this guy. I'm starting to love this guy a little bit more than Shark. I still love Shark, but this guy is just, it can beat down opponents real bad. It has really, really, really good weight. Now we have, we have a like 3-way tie pretty much for first. The one bay that I don't have is Cobalt Drake. I'll put a picture right here. Cobalt Drake on average weighs 38 grams, and the wiki database has it at 38 grams. Now, both of these bays, Phoenix Wing and Cobalt Dragoon, are 1 and 2 respectively. Both of these come in at 38 grams. Both of mine weigh 38 grams, and the average weight is 38 grams, but I'm pretty sure you could probably get one a little bit heavier. Maybe if you're lucky, if you could get one that weighs 40 grams, you're like cooking. But both of these are pretty much the top tier heaviest bays. So in terms of just the heaviest bays, there are, surprisingly enough, these are, I just set up this video to like show the heaviest bays out there. So doing like, let's just do the top 10 heaviest bays. We're gonna do that, and then we got Drawn Buster right there, and then we get we got we got Drawn Dagger, so that's 5. That's 6 with Drawn Dagger, 7 with Viper Tail, 8 with Drawn Sword, 9 with Shark Edge, and 10 with Weiss Tiger. So these are the top 10 heaviest bays according to my calculations, which is kind of crazy to me because like I wouldn't expect Viper Tail to be up there, but Viper Tail actually has decent weight to it. And yeah, like I said, this was just an informational video. Link to this is going to be in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.